Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. It is your host, Adania. I'm so excited for today's episode. I really hope that it can help somebody. Today, I wanted to deep dive about mental health and emotional well-being. Those things are really important for you to pay attention to. So basically, your mental health is like the state of your mind. So what's going on up there? What thoughts are you having? What feelings are you having about those thoughts? What beliefs are you holding? And so I kind of wanted to start it off with getting like the basic advice out there that they always tell you to do. So make sure you're getting exercise. It's very important for your mental health and your mental clarity. Make sure you get outside. That does wonders for your mood. Make sure you are doing your affirmations because that helps you instill new beliefs or emphasize existing beliefs that you already have. And then you want to stay hydrated, drink your water, and you want to focus on having a healthy diet as well because, you have to feed yourself healthy things in order to feel healthy in all sense. So I want to talk about practicing gratitude and being present because I feel like a lot of mental issues come from wishing you were somewhere else and not being grateful for where you are right now when you literally wanted to be here at some point in your life. So if you take a second to be where your feet are, you have just so much more power than just wishing you were somewhere else. And anxiety is like stemming from you worrying about the future and those problems, and depression stems from being consumed by the past and wishing you were back there. And if you stay present, you don't have to worry about either of those. But you only really have right now. Like, past is just a concept, a figment of your imagination, and the future is the same. Like, we are only here right now until we die. And I feel like it's very important to have core beliefs that support you and support your mental health. So some beliefs I would like to help you remember is that you are enough and you are worthy and you are special in your own unique way, and you are loved, and like, you are so valuable. Like, nobody can replace you. You need to remind yourself of that, and that everything is working out in your favor. And you have to practice beliefs. Like, you don't just believe that just because you say it or you heard it. Like, you have to replace your limiting beliefs with those positive thoughts. And so a belief is just a thought that you've thought multiple times. So you have to say those affirmations to yourself like you really believe it. And like, I know doing mirror work, so looking in the mirror and saying your affirmations is very helpful and impactful for instilling new beliefs. I think another thing that supports your mental health is enjoying your own company. I feel like when I was growing up, I was really sad because I always wanted to be with someone. Like, I didn't know how to have fun by myself. But it's like, you are your best friend. You can't get rid of you. Like, everybody else can leave, but you can't run away from you. So you might as well build a nice, healthy relationship with yourself where you don't mind hanging out by yourself. Another good practice for good mental health would be journaling. And you can do like brain dumping, where you just write everything that comes to mind. Or you can do morning pages, which is 3 pages worth of journaling in the morning, or you can like do a journal prompt and then just respond to that. But yeah, I found that journaling really helps my mental health and like helps me get rid of things that are in there in my head that don't really need to be there. And I noticed that when I was really like sad, it was because I was like living in a victim mindset. And so you want to be more of a victor in your reality, because this is all your reality. You are the creator of your reality, and you can change it at any point. But you have to feel like you have that power, because when you're a victim, you feel hopeless, you feel like bad for yourself, you feel like you can't change anything. But when you become the victor, then you have the power to change all those things and feel confident about it. And I think a lot of mental issues can stem from like perspective. So just switching like how you look at things can improve your mental health. Even though it seems like super simple and easy, sometimes it is hard to look at things that you see negatively in a positive light, but it's not impossible. And then another thing that could help your mental health is staying organized. So I know that they say like your room is like a representation of what's going on in your head. So if your room is messy, then your mind's probably messy. So if you clean your room, you won't have to worry about a messy mind. And and I find that like being organized and intentional about like goal setting and keeping track of like how you're spending your time is very imperative. So I have been using Notion lately, and I have a weekly planner on there, and I take Sunday to write down everything I want to accomplish for that week, and that has been very helpful. I also have like a page on there assigned to like my new identity that I want to have, and it's been very helpful. So I highly recommend Notion for like getting your mind together. And I've recommended it to several people, and they have been enjoying it. So another thing that would be good for your mental health is setting boundaries and not giving your mental energy away to things that don't serve you. So being intentional about like what you're consuming as far as like social media, like the news and politics and TV and movies and stuff like that. Just notice the way that things make you feel, and if they don't make you feel good, then try to cut them out. I found that when I was like watching Criminal Minds, now don't get me wrong, Criminal Minds is a great show, love it, but when I would watch it too much, like too many episodes back to back, I would like any little noise that I heard, I thought somebody was about to come murder me. So, and it gave me anxiety, my heart was racing, so I was like, it would be a good idea for me to not watch Criminal Minds often. But you just have to realize your patterns and realize how things make you feel and act accordingly. And then also, I feel like breathing intentionally is a good practice, because a lot of the time we are just like go, trying to be busy and hustle and bustle, but we need to take the time to breathe deeply and calm our nervous system. You see how calm I just got when I took that deep breath? Like, I need to take a deep breath. So that was a good reminder. And then at the end of the day, just remember that you are not your thoughts. Like, you are the observer of your thoughts. So you don't have to believe everything that goes on in your head, because sometimes like you're consuming so many things from everywhere that those things could be in your head and you wouldn't even know. Like there could have been like a song playing on a TV show and then you found yourself singing it later. Like it wasn't intentional that it's in your head. So just practice like seeing your thoughts and not identifying with them so much. It is a good practice to think positive thoughts on purpose. You don't have to stay stuck in like a swamp of negativity up there. You can change your thoughts and opt for like more positive things, or even like just neutral things. Like you don't have to jump from negative to positive, but just like choosing to think something that would make you feel a little bit better. Okay, now I want to get into more of like emotional health. So the number one thing I would say is like feel your feelings. Feel them. Feel them. I remember I used to think that it was like weak to cry, and I didn't like crying, so I would just hold everything inside, and then I would like combust because it was like too much for me to handle. So if I just would have allowed myself to feel those feelings, it's more sustainable and it's stronger. It's strong to cry because you are wearing your emotion on your sleeve when other people don't. Like they mask it. It's nice to just embrace it because I feel like as humans, we have emotions to feel them. We have them for a reason. Our emotions tell us a lot about what's going on with us. And so they're very important for us to pay attention to so that we can make changes to our lives. So that we don't feel those ways, or that we emphasize what we're doing to increase that. Like if you notice something's making you happy, you can do more of that. And vice versa for negative emotions. And I would say for your emotional health, like just get very curious about why you're feeling that way. What does it remind you of? Like specifically with like sadness. I know sometimes you'll be sad about a situation because it reminded you of another situation in the past that made you upset. So yeah, just asking yourself the right questions surrounding your emotions is a good practice. And even like whipping out your journal and writing about it, like I feel this way and I think this is why it reminded me of this. Here's what I can do to help me. Or even if you're like, yeah, just processing those emotions. I will also recommend talking about your feelings with somebody that you trust, that supports you and wants to see you win. They can help you. They can give you good insight because they are not in your head. So they can see your situation a little bit more clearly. And then you definitely want to learn how to communicate your emotions effectively. This is like one of the biggest game changers that I've experienced, because yeah, when I would get mad or sad, I would just shut down and I wouldn't talk about it. But now I still need like space to process, which is okay, and take time to process if you need it. But then when I'm ready to communicate my emotions, I make sure I try to say it in I statements. So I try not to blame whoever made me upset, but just saying like, this made me feel like this. And that has been very helpful for me to communicate my emotions effectively and create a better understanding with whoever I'm talking to. Because you want to yeah, it's cool to like talk with your friends and family, but you also, if you value the relationship, you have to communicate with the person who made you feel that certain way. I also wanted to say you can work on becoming a safe space for your emotions. I know I used to like judge myself a lot for what I was feeling, thinking I shouldn't feel that way, but like I said, we're human, I'm human. We feel things that don't make sense all the time, but you just have to accept that. And yeah, you have to accept that in order for you to feel safe with yourself. And lastly, for your emotional health, just recognize your patterns. Try to recognize when you're self-sabotaging and your coping mechanisms, and recognize what processes you need to go through in order to feel better. And I hope those tips helped you. Comment down below your favorite tip that I gave today, and like the video if you're on YouTube, and rate the podcast 5 stars if you're on Apple Podcast or Spotify Podcast. And yeah, make good choices. I love you guys, and bye.